Hello, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM as we continue, as we've done throughout November, examining movies that have helped shape the culture. And joining me, as she did last night, is our guest, Molly Haskell, film critic, film writer, and one of the most thoughtful film experts of her generation. Molly, always great to talk to you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Ben.
We're going to begin tonight with a 1986 film, Children of a Lesser God. This was actress Marlee Matlin's debut performance in a film. She had done stage work, mostly in Chicago before. She plays a janitor at a school for the deaf. William Hurt is a teacher at the school, and when he sees her, and she is not interested in him initially, he's quite drawn to her. What kind of impact did Children of a Lesser God have, Molly?
Well, I think it was huge. I think the idea began when actress Phyllis Fralick suggested to Mark Medoff that there were no parts for deaf actresses and he should write one. And so he did, about her in consultation with her husband. And they had a relationship very much like that, the one between Matlin and William Hurt in the film. And it's just a knockout. I mean, she is unbelievable. I think she just rips the thing apart. She's just stubborn and fierce. You see everything in her, even without any words. And sometimes when she's doing sign language, it's fairly gracefully done. Hurt has a sort of inner monologue where he translates her sign language. But sometimes you know what she's saying without even having him do that. That's how expressive she is.
Yeah, she's an actress who conveys so much without speaking. Obviously, that comes from the condition she had since she was a little child. But man, it is powerful. I don't think that people go through life with Marlee Matlin not knowing what she's thinking.
Mm-hmm. Some of the criticisms were, one was that they should have had more silence. She should have seen the world more from her point of view and not from a speaking person's point of view. But I think you do get that. I mean, first of all, what we've said, she's just so dynamic. And then there are wonderful scenes. Like, for me, the great scene in the film is the one she swims. You've seen her swimming and you feel her in her element in this pool at night. She's the sovereign of her world. And you sort of wonder, should we make her, come out of this world? But anyway, she has this great scene where she's swimming and he's mad about her and he just jumps in with his clothes on. And I mean, the chemistry between those two is through the roof. Then there's a scene, they go to a nightclub and she just goes off by herself and starts dancing beautifully. So you feel that this is not such a limited inner world that she has.
Yeah, there is an instinct, a part of us thinks you should leave her alone. Like there has been significant trauma, clearly, as we learned throughout the film in her life. And she has found a path forward, right? She's a janitor. She keeps to herself. And then he sort of forces his way in. And that, as it turns out, it doesn't backfire, but it certainly could have. And there's an argument to be made. Like, why do you get to decide what this person needs?
Well, in a way, it's sort of the argument that hearing men and women are going through at the same time. Does the woman give up her identity herself to marry? And generally she did, because the man was the breadwinner, and that was sort of the way most marriages went. She has a line about, why can't I have the I in marriage? And it's a fascinating question, especially, so it's exaggerated by her condition, but it's really one that a lot of women are going through.
Molly, you've spent much of your career writing about women in film, a history of women in film, how women are seen cinematically throughout the past 100 or so years. Where does this movie fit in? Is this a feminist film?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's a great feminist figure. She's, all of her own. She doesn't have to have joined any movements or read any pamphlets, but she's just instinctively proud and very articulate in her own way. As we've said, you sort of understand what she's saying. You don't need to have subtitles or have translation. She's just so able to let you know what's going on in her mind. And that's really, I think, what a great movie does, is it's a man and a woman. I mean, also it's a real sort of screwball comedy vibe they have between them, this love-hate, this antagonism which equals attraction. And you know that the angrier they are, the more attracted to each other they are. And that's just a very powerful sort of dynamic of the film.
Yeah, the key really is that they're both professionals and they're very good at what they do.
They're so good. Hurt had won the Academy Award the previous year for Kiss of the Spider Woman, which is such a different role. And here he's just wonderful, I think. He's playful, he's self-deprecating, he's antic. And yet there's this core of being a little too pleased with himself, maybe.
Yeah, you mentioned Hurt's prior Oscar when that put him in the unique position of announcing Marlee Matlin as the winner of the Best Actress Oscar the next year. And of course, she had a great year last year with Coda.
With Coda. She was wonderful in Coda.
Yeah, Molly, terrific. Thanks so much. Great stuff.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, here's the film, directed by Randa Haynes from 1986, Marlee Matlin, William Hurt, and Piper Laurie in Children of a Lesser God. Welcome back. I'm Ben Mankiewicz, joined once again by film critic and writer Molly Haskell. Molly, great to see you again. Thanks for being here.
It's great, Ben.
So, Molly, when we talk about films that help shape the culture, there's no denying the impact that Children of a Lesser God had, correct?
I think so. It's the first time most people had seen. I had never seen a film with a deaf person, and it just didn't exist, and nobody thought to make it exist. So then it came out, and then we wondered, why aren't there more of these? And I guess we're still wondering that. I mean, we did have Coda last year, but there haven't been many in its wake. But it certainly did increase awareness of the deaf. The one thing I was curious about is the fact that she didn't want to use lip reading.
So yeah, I mean, I'll share my thoughts on it with the note that I'm, not an expert on this, and I'm certainly not a part of this of the deaf community. But having spoken with Marlee about this and done a couple of interviews with her, there is a divide inside the deaf community about whether speaking should be taught, promoted, or whether it should be exclusively sign language. And Marlee does both and has received some pushback for it. And she's very understanding of both sides. And that is an issue inside the deaf community, which comes up again and again. It was an issue in 1986, still an issue now in 2022. And of course, last year in the wonderful film Coda, which won Best Picture with Marlee.
Well, it's a reminder, isn't it, that there's no such thing in any minority community, whether it's gays or deaf people or whatever. They're not monolithic. There are really divisions among them and within them. And that's why they're like the rest of us,
Right. And we in the majority community, we know that we're not a monolithic community. Lord knows we can't even find 5 people who agree on the same thing. But we have this tendency and the use of those terms, right? Nonetheless, most of that idea of talking about minority communities is, in general, it's healthy. It's a desire to see where there is a lack of representation, at least coming in movies, and increase it. So it comes from a good place, but it is its own trap.
Also, I think some people felt it was kind of tokenism. I don't agree that it was sort of using her as a gimmick and a love story. I didn't feel that at all. I think what you can say is that it follows certain familiar pattern of a certain kind of movie. You have the idealistic teacher, the resistant institution, the children with a handicap that are brought through, the tears and all of that. And it does. It's sort of a checkpoint. It goes through all of those familiar tropes. But I think it transcends them because of the power of these two performances, and particularly hers. It's so individual and so just unequaled anywhere. I've never seen anything like it.
All right. As always, I learn a lot every time I talk to you. Thanks so much, Molly.
Great. Thanks, Ben.
We have one more film to present tonight with Molly. It's coming up next from 1993. Tom Hanks wins the Best Actor Oscar for his performance in Philadelphia. Stay with us.